Alright. So we're up and running here. Extend this. Okay. Oh, what up, Colts Nation? Let's see here. Give it a minute if you're watching this playback. Just know I'm going to say here. Give it a minute for people to roll in here. Sunday night football coming up. Other games are finished up. Just give people a chance to hop in here real quick. Philip, what up? Donnie, what up? What up? Alright. Got a couple of people in here. I ain't gonna make you guys wait. So this is obviously post game talking about what happened today. Terrible is the right word for it. Like, today's just not good enough. It's just never gonna be good enough. It felt like 2022 all over again today. Like, you just can't have that. Can't let that be what this year is. Yeah, I think Shane said the right thing, and I have the press conference, Shane and AR's press conferences for anybody that didn't watch it, but I want to let more people get in here before we show those. But we'll definitely listen to those and react to each of those. But right, like Shane can do better, and also like you think about it, like just looking at the numbers, right? AR ends up 17 of 34, 204, one touchdown, three interceptions. One was on the Hail Mary, so two interceptions. Both the interceptions 100% AR's fault, sailing one ball and then throwing another one into very tight coverage. Easy play for the defender to make. So two bad decisions there by AR. But also on the first interception by AR, if he gets a better block and Quay Walker is blocked better behind Alec Pierce, I think it was Michael Pittman Jr. running his route, he would have been wide open. Like he cut, if you watch the replay of that, he cut and would have been wide open for a touchdown, but AR didn't have the time to be able to throw to him down the field. He tried to get one off to Alec Pierce and give him a jump ball and sailed a little bit, ends up an interception. So, again, not a great decision. 40 plus passes, that's wild. Yeah, he ends up with 34. 17 to 34, 50% completion. We had like 7 drops though, right? Or maybe it was 6 drops and then the one that Alec Pierce slipped counts for 7. Either way, it's like 7 drops in this game. Very easily could have been 24 for 34. It could have looked much better. Stats could have been better. Drives, staying alive, the most important part. Drives could have stayed alive. If we just execute, it's the same conversation we had last week. Just execute. We end up only losing by 6. We figure it out in the second half. We start moving the ball. Defense able to slow things down. Packers may have gotten a little conservative, but we were able to stop the run, right, which we weren't able to do in the first half. So we were able to finally make adjustments on the defensive side, and they were able to get off the field. Zaire Franklin with the turnover. Offense did not execute. Last week, offense had trouble executing, but would hit the big play. What worries me is that this is what we heard in training camp. This is what it sounded like in training camp, where the offense struggled on most days, but they did a good job of finding the explosive play, right? Anthony Gould on the second team, him and Joe Flacco hitting the explosive plays. Obviously, Alec Pierce, A.D. Mitchell hitting the explosive plays in practice. So it's nice to have that element to the offense, but people are going to take that away. Jonathan Taylor ends up 12 carries, 103, ends up not playing in the end of the fourth quarter when we need him the most. I don't know what that's about. He ends up with 2 catches on third with 32 yards as well. Overall, 135 yards on 14 touches. Why is he not in the game? What's going on there? Shane said that nothing's wrong with him. So, not really sure why he wasn't in the game. But nonetheless, like we were able to get going in the run game. The pass game just has to be consistent, and it would have been. That's the part that's hard. Is that again? It just comes down to execution, catching the ball. A.D. Mitchell had a terrible day today. Right, his first target, like AR fires it out there. It was in a good spot away from the defender. All he had to do was put his hands out. Like, and it would have been. It should have been an easy catch. And probably would have been a first down right there, keep the drive alive. Instead, ends up missing. We go 3 and out, I believe, on our first drive, right? I think 3 plays each of the first 3 drives, one of which was obviously the interception. And it's just not efficient football. We're not playing efficient football. We're not playing complementary football. I feel like the offensive line has played pretty well. You look at both games. Even though the offense isn't efficient, like AR has time. Now, Quentin Nelson did have a holding call that, I mean, without that, drive stays alive. But because of that, we go to 3rd and 15. Like, and that drive ends, right? He had another mistake later in the game, and it's slipping my mind right now exactly what it was. But, yeah, the O-line's doing their job. Guys have to catch the ball. Last week, AR only threw 19 passes. He sailed a couple of them. Some of it was his fault. Some of it was receiver slipping. Whatever the case, last week wasn't great passing, but we put up a bunch of points because the explosive plays. This week, the explosive plays really weren't there, and we weren't able to be efficient. And part of that, you look at, just like last week, time of possession. This week, it was just over 40 minutes for the Packers. Just under 20 minutes for the Colts. Once again, like, that's just not complimentary football. That's not the way you want to play games. Throwing the ball 34 times. We had 18 total carries as a team altogether. You look at that. There's 1 sack on the books, so that's 35 pass plays, 18 run plays, 53 plays. Just not really going to cut it. It's just really not going to cut it. You have to be able to stay on the field more. Because you saw after halftime when the defense had time to just sit, catch their breath, make some adjustments, figure out what they needed to change, they were able to make those changes, right? And they did well in the second half, preventing points, right? They let up a field goal in the third, a field goal in the fourth. Outside of that, so it wasn't perfect. And the Packers were able to sustain some drives to take some time off the board. But at the end of the day, the offense has to execute too. We can say what we want about Gus Bradley and the defense, which was atrocious once again. But the offense has to execute. We didn't show up to play today. We started to figure it out on both sides of the ball in the second half, but it was too little too late, just like with the Texans. Too little too late. By the time we start to figure out how to make efficient drives, it's just too little too late. And it's unsustainable. Can't keep losing these close games. We have to figure out a way to win, which is what Zaire Franklin said after the game in the locker room, was that, good teams figure out ways to win. Green Bay did a great job of that, and that he thinks today is a good learning lesson for this team. And again, there are a lot of young guys on this team, AR being one of them. AD is going to remember this one, right? This is going to be a motivator. This should be a motivator. Right now, Alec Pierce looks like the best wide receiver we have. Josh Downs, sorely missed. Looked like he was going to be able to go. They end up holding him out. Presumably, probably going to get a full week of practice next week. Hopefully come back against the Bears. We need him. We need to win. Hopefully DeForest Buckner will out for a long period of time, but he already had the back issue. Then he gets folded up down onto his ankle. Just really unfortunate for Defoe. Plays through so many injuries. And just hope he's able to come back at some point. There's no report on what it is at this point. Just hoping it's not anything crazy serious. Hopefully he can come back at some point where he's obviously going to be sorely missed. I don't know what we're going to do in the meantime. Our rotations on the defensive line are terrible. Taven Bryan's playing far too often. I feel like the defense got better in the second half when he played less. Right? Raekwon Davis, Grover Stewart, Tomiade. Rotation of them, putting Dio Dangbo, rotating him in the middle, Tyquan Lewis, rotating him in the middle. I think there are different combinations that we can go with to put stress on the offensive line. It'll just be interesting to see what happens. Because something has to give. Shane, we're going to keep talking. Shane's the head coach. End of the day, a lot of this falls on him too. Gus Bradley coaches the defense. He says what he has to say, right? Shane says what he has to say publicly, but behind the scenes, you can only hope that something's gonna give. He's gonna tell Gus like, hey, this needs to happen, or hey, we're gonna go in a different direction. This is second game of the season. I don't think he wants to do that at this point. And I think he hopes it's going to get better. At some points, that's where I say something's got to give. Like, when is Shane going to tell his coach, like, what you're doing isn't working? We need to try this and this. You need to you're an NFL coach. Like, figure it out how to play like this. And we need to start getting our guys to attack the offense. That's the way I think it should go. That's the way I hope it goes. Because what we saw just isn't good enough, right? Again, 17 of 34, should have been 24 of 34. 204, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Gets sacked 1 time. 12 carries, 103 for JT, but no rushing touchdowns in this game. Alec Pierce, 7 targets, has 5 catches, 56 and a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, the next best receiver for us with 32 yards. A.D. Mitchell, 1 catch, 30 yards. Even his catch, he bobbled it a little bit. Just seems nervous out there. Seems a little uneasy with those balls coming at him. I think getting used to the game, to the speed of the game and people coming at him, how it feels to get hit and how much more physical the NFL is. AD's going to have to get used to those things coming in. That's what today taught me about AD Mitchell. Definitely some development that needs to happen there. He's got the talent. It seems to be the mental side of things on the field during the play that he just needs to have more confidence in himself, have more confidence in the fact that he can take a hit, hold on to the ball, whatever the case is, look the ball in before you're trying to cut up field, those kinds of things. He just needs to concentrate better. Reggie's his coach. I expect that to be worked on, and I expect that to get better as time goes on, right? Molly Cox, 1 catch, 22. Pittman, 3 for 21 on 7 targets. Just disappointing. More people with 1 catch, and it really doesn't even matter. Today, just overall wasn't good enough. Again, the team rush yards, 253 carries for the Packers, 261 rush yards, 4.9 average for Green Bay. Like, those numbers are insane. Mixon last week goes for 156 on 30 carries. This week, Josh Jacobs, 32 for 151. Malik Willis, 6 for 41. Jaden Reed, 2 for 37. Right? They had 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Long day. Just got done working out and getting out of the shower. 6 people carried the ball. 53 carries. They had 53 carries. We had 58 plays. Think about that. They had 58 carries. We had 58 plays. I'm sorry, 53 plays. Sorry, getting my number wrong. Right? Yeah. 35 plus 18. Yeah, we had 53 plays. They had 53 carries. Then Malik Willis was 12 of 14, 122, and a touchdown, 126.8 rating. Just like we talked about coming in. There's a chance Gus Bradley's defense makes Malik Willis look pretty good, and that's exactly what we did. And what's going to happen? Again, yes, it's going to get loud. Let's fire Gus Bradley, and we probably should. Who would take over? I don't know. Would they run the defense any differently than Gus Bradley? I don't know. Would they run the same thing and just wait for the next guy to – I don't know where we'd go from there. If we did fire Gus Bradley, what do we do? I think it was malpractice with who was available in the offseason, what you could have done. I just think, how do you not get rid of Gus Bradley with what you've seen from him after the Eberflus days and bring in somebody different. And now we're sitting here with Gus Bradley. Now we're going to have to suffer through this. Wink Martindale, maybe Wink Martindale would have ended up at Michigan anyways. But if you get rid of Gus Bradley, maybe Wink Martindale, maybe we can pull him in. I think Wink Martindale runs a lot of different defenses, which is exactly what we talked about yesterday in the stream. And I just think running a more multiple defense is the way to go in the NFL, right? You look at the Texans, DeMeco Ryans, he's been so good in his career on the defensive side of the ball, calling plays, and now in Houston, and that defense continuing to get better because they run such they don't run, I'm addicted to the cover twos, right? Eberflus, we were one of the best defenses under Eberflus. He runs a lot of cover two traditionally, and a lot of different parts of cover two, right? Cover two quarters, cover two, whatever you want to say, and stuff like that. But he's like married to those coverages. And I think running all different coverages, being able to throw offensive offense is the way to go. Gus Bradley is literally is the most predictable scheme in the NFL. There are charts that speak to that fact about how predictable this defense is. And we're sitting here with Gus Bradley. It's tough, man. It's tough to watch. Tough to watch, man. So, see what you guys are talking about here. Just got back to Florida from last week's heartbreaking loss to get a game. Jeez. Yeah, seen a lot of you. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Now we got Paul in here, Isaiah, Denzel. Appreciate y'all in the comment section. Back. He's our best player. I have no idea why we're not letting Jonathan Taylor eat. Why we're not giving him the ball more. I understand. We weren't ever really down that much until the end of the game when we had to have 2 scores. Now, I do disagree late in the game. 4th down. Kick the field goal. Matt Gay misses. I think from that part of the field with what you've seen from Matt Gay this year, I think it made all the sense in the world to go ahead and go for it there. I thought the offense had showed signs of getting better. I thought all you need to do is catch the ball. AR was putting the ball in good spots today. Just have to have a guy catch the ball, and I think we could have gotten it. Granted, we missed on a 4th and 5 earlier in the game in our territory, but nonetheless, I just think we should have gone for it on that 4th down. Even before Matt Gay missed it, I thought we should have gone for it. And gone and scored a touchdown there. But nonetheless, not putting the ball in AR's hands or in JT's hands, I don't get it, man. Like you said, he's our best player. He's incredible, and he showed it today. There were running lanes, 8.6 yards per carry JT had. 8.6 yards per carry. JT was doing his thing. AR realistically doing his thing. It's and it keeps coming back. I don't want to just blame the receivers. Offense has to execute as a whole. But drop passes, man. JT would have a good run, get us a good first down. 15 yards, and then we drop a pass, right? Gets stuffed on a run, or only get 2 or 3 yards on a run, and then somebody drops a pass. And then it gets a 3rd down, and we drop a pass or miss a throw. All around execution not there. Consistency has not been there in the early portion of this year, which has been tough, right? But I did want to. It's been long enough now. I've been here for about 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and plug these headphones in. Might even have to go into my settings real quick. I do want to watch these press conferences with you guys. There we go. Okay. Yeah, okay, automatically switched over. Good. Okay. So this is Coach. Gonna listen, gonna react as we go. Let me turn desktop audio on here. Let me turn my headset up here.
All right, I'll get started. Buck left the game with an ankle, and Latu has a hip. I don't. I'll probably have more for you later this week. Not that I know of. I mean, let's see how the week goes, and I'll get updates.
We asked because he wasn't out there.
I gotcha. Yep. Yeah. Yep.
With the run defense, how much of that do you think is stuff that maybe you can scheme for, and how much of it is just like just physically push off the ball?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing there is we got to get it fixed. Starts with myself. I'm the head coach, and we got to get in that meeting room on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and get it fixed. And that's the bottom line. But I go back again. We got the guys in that locker room to do it. I have no doubt about that. I'm not losing any faith in that at all, but we got to get it fixed.
And that right there, that's what I hope. Coming from Shane, right? He's the head coach. That's what I'm hoping. Something's going to change. I think we have the guys in the locker room. I think we can be good on defense. We just have to change what we're doing on defense. How much can we change, right? In season, on the fly. How much is the guy going to change his philosophy? Well, head coach, like, he's the guy, man. At some point, you can just point to the continued unsuccessfulness of the defense, right? Continuing to just get gashed last year. It's a secondary this year. We can't stop the run. Unable to get off the field on 3rd and longs last week. This week it's the defense, again, 53 carries, 261 yards. At some point, something's got to give on the defense. I think we have a very talented roster. I think we have guys that can get it done. I just think we need a different philosophy on defense. I think the guys that play defense for us understand that we need a different philosophy on defense. I don't think they have the juice coming in and belief in what their keys are and what the defense is supposed to do. I just don't think they're buying into it. You see a lot of it's the same guys we had last year, but we're taking such a step back early on in the season, such a big step back. Makes me think that Gus Bradley has lost the defense. They don't believe in it anymore. Well, I mean, of course, we'll see if that changes. I just don't see it happening. Right? Like what tells us that might happen? I just don't see that being the case.
Still have confidence in Gus to get it fixed?
Absolutely, 100%.
Now, he was asked, do you have confidence in Gus to get it fixed? He says 100%, absolutely. Of course he's going to say that. Shane doesn't give anything crazy to the media. He'll take care of it behind the scenes. Him and Gus are good friends. But at some point, winning games has to take precedent. Like, their careers on lines, guys that need to feed their families. Success gets people paid. We got to figure it out. Again, this can't be how the season goes. There are 15 games left, right? For as bad as it feels, there are 15 games left. And I'm going to do an overreaction video, and I'm not going to be saying all that tomorrow. But there are 15 games left. We can figure it out. I just point to the Andrew Luck season. 2018, we started, 1-5, 1-6. Made it to the playoffs, beat the Texans 21-0 in their house before we lost in the playoffs. So it's possible. But, and listen, the beginning of that season is a lot of what we're seeing here. Like, looked like a terrible football team. Looked like there was no hope on either side of the ball. It was ugly football, and then they figured it out, and they made the playoffs. So as a fan, of course, I'm going to have hope. There's plenty of time left. I think we have, just like Shane said, the guys to do it. We just got to tighten up, man. We got to tighten up. Absolutely.
Did you think it was more an execution issue today, or
again, I got to go back. I got to watch it. You know what I mean? All that stuff happens, and obviously they're running the ball good early. But I think our defense settled in there in the second half. I mean, we only gave up, 16 points in total. And so offensively, it starts with myself, too. We got to be better there, and we got to score points.
Now, that's a good point. Overall, we only give up 16 points on defense. Also, all they're doing is running the ball, and they have Malik Willis at quarterback. Right? Packers shouldn't have put up many points. The problem is that even last year, we were putting up 20 points a game or more. Like, it was, 23 points a game, 22 points a game. By the time it was all said and done, like, we put up 20-plus a game. Put up 27 last week. We just couldn't get any of those explosives in this play or in this game. And, again, couldn't be efficient. The offense just didn't run. Just small errors, mental errors, penalties, drop passes, missed throws, just things you can't have happen. The margin for winning in the NFL is so slim. We hear it all the time, but it's so true. And the small mistakes that we made last week, the small mistakes that we made this week, were big mistakes at the end of the day. And the defense, again, playing too soft. So, yes, it is an execution issue. When he goes back and looks at the tape, he's going to realize overall it's just executing. You just have to execute the play. Like, you have to hit the layups. And this one, it was more on the receivers than it was AR. I'll continue to preach that.
Overall, I thought it was okay, There's some things probably he won't want back. But, again, I got to do a better job for him. Week in and week out. I got to be better for him every single time we step on that field.
You wish you, had done more line runs with him, or what the balance be?
Yeah, no, we had some up for sure, and JT was running it pretty good, and we popped some big runs there. And then it just depends on, how they're playing the quarterback run game, whether we get them or not. Some of those he handed off were, you know what I mean? That's just how it plays out.
Yeah, and there were a couple in this game. The fumbled snap that AR had to jump on. If he's able to keep that one clean, he's probably able to get outside. Probably not a big gain on that one, but able to get some yards rather than getting behind the sticks. And then there was another one where he handed it off to JT, and as they showed the replay, was when Van Ness jumped on JT behind the line. If AR pulls that, Van Ness is dedicated to JT at that point because he's so close. He was ready to pounce on him. And then Doolin had the block and was pushing that corner inside. AR keeps that and goes around. There's a bunch of green grass there. And with the kind of athlete that he is, the stiff arm, the spin move, the juke move, like AR is dangerous in space. Could have gotten a lot of yards. Could have maybe broke it for a touchdown. And unfortunately, he hands that one off, ends up as a loss. I think we were in the red zone at that point too, so which is why I feel like AR could have easily scored a touchdown there. Could have been a different game. So those things, like throwing the ball, obviously the 2 interceptions, not great decisions. Trying to make a play on the first one, on the second one, really just not a good decision. And then on some of those option plays, the mistake on the handoff, and then not good. There were a couple that I felt like probably he should have kept instead of handing it to JT. I think we should have ran more of it through the game. I felt like they were trying to play against the deep ball in this game, and we should have taken and we were trying to take what the defense. I keep going back. We should have taken what the defense gave us. We probably should have done more of taking what the defense gives us. But I thought we did a good job of that. It's just catching the ball. Now AR does have he's more prone to look downfield, try to throw downfield, which puts him in some vicarious situations. Sometimes he's holding on to the ball a little bit, but again, the offensive line's been playing well. It's just he's got to get better at being more efficient. The offense has to be more efficient. Guys have to catch the ball. So, yeah. That's my thoughts.
About just the start to finish, you just felt like you struggled to get your foot in on both sides of the ball that first half in particular.
Yeah, there's no doubt. We got to start fast, bottom line, and we didn't. And again, it starts with myself. We got to come out there, hit the ground running, and we got to get it fixed. Got to get it fixed going forward.
what role does just the overall sloppiness, particularly on offense, kind of play into it? Mistakes, those kinds of things, and how does that prevent you from getting in?
Yeah, it's crazy because the biggest thing is we want to play complementary football, right, and get some momentum. Defense gets a stop, and it's like, come on, offense, let's go. Now it's our turn to go score, and we didn't get that done today. Bottom line, we didn't do it, and we got to get that done going forward, without a doubt.
Yeah, so under AR, when AR plays, like, we just continue to start slow. Last year, this year it's happening. We have a tendency to start slow, specifically on offense. And I'm just wondering, some people, and AR even said it, getting that first hit kind of wakes him up. And last year, obviously, getting banged up a couple times, taking hits. So we didn't want that, but he's shown he can take the hits this season. And maybe to start the game, we start throwing in quarterback runs at some point in those first 3 plays, like design quarterback runs that you can block really well, have your guys get off the ball on one of the first plays of the game and get your quarterback activated, whether it's a big gain or not. He needs a hit to get going in the game. Let him keep the ball, let him get that hit, and let's get started. We can't keep coming into games trailing. We can't keep playing from behind. We need our defense. We were hoping our pass rush would be more effective. Well, we're never going to have a chance to pass rush if everybody's running against us because we're always behind. We need to come out. We need to start the game fast and start jumping on guys. We have to do something different.
From a receiver standpoint, were there a couple of balls where guys need to try to make a play on them? Because you got the Willis one where Dobbs stops, comes back, gets the jump ball.
Mm-hmm.
And Mitchell, I felt like maybe they could go try.
I don't know, you might have had a better view than I did on some of those. I'll go back and look at it.
Can you assess for just what's going on? AD's connection with Anthony just seems like it's hard to find right now. Is it just young players? Or?
Yeah, I think that stuff sometimes takes time. You know what I mean? And they'll get in a rhythm, and they'll find their rhythm, and we'll go from there.
What's your message? I know it's early. Not a great start.
I think the biggest thing, and kind of hit it with you guys, is we got to do a great job of starting fast, and we all got to look ourselves in the mirror. We really do. And I know it's early. I'm not in panic mode by any means. We got so much football left, but we got to do a hell of a job preparing this week for Chicago at home. Good, awesome. Thanks, guys.
So, like Coach said, we have the Bears coming to town. We're going to have to figure it out, man. We got to figure out what we're going to do. If Keenan Allen's playing, Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift, Caleb Williams happens to figure it out. I don't know. He'll probably figure it out against our defense. With the Bears coming to town, man, Eberflus is coming back. I know confidence is low right now. I know all of Colts Nation is in a bit of panic. Because today was crazy. Last week with the run, but at least last week we looked like an actual football team. Today was demoralizing. You can kind of, I feel like, hear it in my voice. I can feel it. I know I'm a little tired because I went and worked out and whatnot, but man, I just feel demoralized by halftime in that game. Just felt like I had taken 6 uppercuts, man. Like, today was just a tough day to be a Colts fan, you know. But again, I have faith in our guys. At the end of the day, I have faith. Going to keep faith until all hope is lost, right? It's still very early in the season. Started this a little later than I wanted to. I know the Sunday night game, Texans and Bears are already playing. Wanted to do this a little earlier so that we could go a little longer. But I'll go ahead and cut this one off. We're going to be here for Overreaction tomorrow. Going to have content through the week. I have Tuesday off. We might go ahead and stream Tuesday just to, touch base again, just because I'll have time to do it. So we'll see what happens. Want to get through. Want to go on to NFL Pro. Start looking through some tape as soon as I can. So whatever the case, I will. I'll talk to you guys soon. I appreciate you coming to hang out, Donnie. You too, brother. Be safe. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Share with any Colts fans you know. In case they want some more content, going to keep pumping content out. No matter what happens, we're going to keep pumping content out. All right, so I'll talk to you guys soon. You guys have a wonderful night. Appreciate you guys for stopping in, and appreciate you guys so much. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.